Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Broken Sword 5, the Curse of the Serpent. I suppose we figured out how to start a conversation with Hobbs, and so we wanted to go through everything. Let's just start here and work our way this way. Apparently Hobbs isn't as big of a bad guy as I thought. I thought he was the killer, frankly, but it turns out he's not. Or it seems like he's not.
I'd just taken the sketch from Hobbs's portfolio. Now wasn't the time to hand it back. He wouldn't want to see it.
And we're getting a lot of default responses. Again, same like we had with
I knew
her,
be interested.
Lady Piermont. I almost wonder if we are approaching the end of the first part of this game, or if possibly we've already gotten past the first part of the game and this is the second part, and that explains why we've run into some empty places in the game as far as responses with items.
Probably wouldn't care.
You really shouldn't make a point and click adventure game where you can have this much in your inventory and then not write a line of dialogue for every item, for every character you could show it to.
I knew he wouldn't be interested.
Like, why even have these as options then? Why not just have a few conversations where you can't show anything?
I didn't think he'd be interested.
It seems like their own engine hasn't been programmed well enough. It would be really easy to make a just, if this flag is set on this character, like the I don't care flag, don't show any of the items. And then just leave us with the 3, because that's the same thing we had here. Anyways, so he was sketching this lady that looks like the girlfriend of Henry who got killed.
How come you needed to make so many sketches of the painting to restore it?
Restoration's not about throwing a load of paint around. It takes research. The Serp is a complicated painting. A lot of subtext. A lot of symbols.
Symbols. So this is the guy that was painting Henry's girlfriend, and he was friends with Henry, so they knew each other, and there's a bigger connection than we thought, I guess.
Why would anyone want to steal La Malediccio? It's not exactly a famous painting.
True, but there is something special about it that's hard to describe. There's conviction in every brushstroke. Whoever El Serp was, he had a tale to tell. The symbolism is deeply religious.
I wonder if it's important to the story that La Malediction is not a famous painting. That there aren't pictures of it, there aren't drawings, there aren't details of it available somewhere for somebody to see it. But yeah, that might be the case. That would explain why you would need to steal it back. So this might be something bigger than an insurance scam.
We have reason to believe that Medovsky is mixed up in the theft of La Malediccio.
Eh? What would he gain from stealing his own painting?
We have strong evidence that Medovsky is not the real owner.
He'll have a hard time proving that. Medovsky has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces its legitimate ownership all the way back to the painter.
Why didn't Medovsky mention it?
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them. Or had them.
Interesting.
And Henri is dead.
So ask his partner.
Lane?
Lane, yeah, Lane. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for conspiracies here. And you're wasting my time if you're not actually going to get naked. Go get the provenance from Lane, and everything will turn out hunky-dory.
But it also puts Marquez's story into question.
Not my problem, darling. Now both of you, get lost. I've got a painting to finish.
And we have a critic to interrogate.
Someone's lying.
We missed one of those conversation choices.
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medovsky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I can put the squeeze on Lane. Ask him about the provenance.
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up.
Oops.
Taxi?
I clicked on the pig and it skipped the dialogue. Sorry. So, we could go to Nico's apartment, we can go to the gallery, we can go to viewer security, and then you have all of these landmarks that we won't ever go to, or probably won't go to at least. Let's see. Going to Bijou's apartment right now probably won't let me do anything, so let's do it and just see.
The door was locked.
See, all we have right now that's particularly that new is the whiskey, the coin, the sketch, and the paperclip, and everything is kind of what we had when before we left for London.
Bijou? This is George Stobbart from the insurance company. Fortunately, Lane wasn't there. I wondered if Bijou could tell me anything new.
George, good to see you.
So Hobbs probably painted all of these. And then we've got a dressing table. And she's frankly drunk in the music box and all. So maybe I can get her drunk so she'll pass out. Which is not an appropriate thing to do.
Hello again, George. You neglected me yesterday, you naughty boy.
I was in London.
Oh, how exciting. I love London. Tell me all about it.
Maybe another time.
And see, we're
I have
back
some
to this
questions I
music
need to
again.
ask you first.
Let's see. Let's offer her some
I
whiskey.
figured Bijou had had enough to drink already.
Really?
I knew she wouldn't be interested.
And
She wouldn't want to see it. I
we'll
was
just go
sure
through
she didn't
everything
want to see it.
again.
I didn't think she'd be interested. Hey, this might cheer you up. Say hello to Trevor.
A cockroach?
I prefer the word pal.
Yeah, we've
And
already
I
done
prefer
that.
the word pest. Please never show it to me again.
We've done it twice now.
Rich tea?
Why is it broken?
I was feeding it to a cockroach.
And you can't use inventory
No, it's a
items.
pass.
You can't use items on items.
She probably wouldn't care. Bijou, what do you think about this?
I'm not sure, George. Sorry.
Well, at least I showed that
Does
to
this
her.
smell good to you?
It's heavenly, isn't it? Oh, he loved it.
I knew she wouldn't be interested. What's the song called?
Jasmine, by the Hairy Lobsters. Before your time, I'm sure. It's a band that Henri fronted in the 70s. They got to #2 in the Swedish charts.
Big time, huh?
Interesting. Paintings of Bijou.
You said you didn't recall who painted that picture.
You know how it is. So many artists.
Wasn't it Wilfred Hobbs who painted this one?
Might have been. I don't recall him. Do you mind if we talk about something else?
So, interesting. She doesn't know. Or at least she's not telling.
I'm guessing you've had a few drinks since hearing the news.
Oh, just a little dry sherry. To calm the nerves. To make the nightmare go away.
Let's ask about Medosky, I guess, or Henry, the gallery. We'll just do them all.
I'm sure his killer will be found.
It's a cruel world that takes my Henri away from me.
Did you say you had nothing to do with the gallery?
I did, darling. I don't do paperwork. I model for the artists. I don't sell their paintings.
That's a little odd, but alright. She models for all the artists that the gallery owner sells.
Do you know the owner of La Malediccio? A Mr. Medovsky?
I had nothing to do with all that, I told you.
And then there's a second time we can click on this.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the painting?
Not really. I was young and beautiful.
Come on.
So, the painting.
I'd rather not talk about it anymore.
I'll speak to you later.
So we go
Goodbye, George.
3 ways down on that painting, and it still doesn't let us find anything out.
Please don't touch my things.
So this was a pointless side excursion. And we could try to go to Nico's apartment, and let's see what happens here. Is this going to be a cutscene?
It was good to be back in Rue Jarry.
Yeah, and I would like to see the psychic lady who was selling flowers show up. But she was on the other side of the street. The street looked different. This building looked different. Maybe she's got a flower shop now. It's her.
Ah, a customer.
Nice.
Oh, it's you.
Fleur?
Come in, come in.
Last time I met Fleur, she was selling flowers from a street stall. Things had clearly gone very well for her since then.
Nice wallpaper. Let's talk to her. She probably doesn't have anything important to say, but this is a nice
Hi, Fleur.
scene.
George, welcome. The young lady you're looking for is not at home.
How did you...
No, I have the gift.
Did Nico tell you I might be stopping by?
No, but I was expecting you nonetheless.
Fleur was the best and probably the only psychic florist in Paris.
So, I guess we'll go through everything and see if she has any responses for this. And we'll see if any of it turns out to be like a hint system on top of the hint system. Because I kind of don't want a hint for every single item.
Anything you can tell me about this whiskey bottle?
Not a spirit world I'm familiar with, George.
Do these sketches mean anything to you?
Take them away, George. They have the taint of death on them.
Are you serious?
I mean it. Take them away.
So I guess we should go for everything. Because she does have a response for everything.
Can you
it
tell me
seems.
anything about this coin?
I could, but then you'd know as much as me.
And?
I can't give away all my secrets, George.
What can you tell me about this paperclip?
It's going to become redundant in a digital world.
Does this shredded letter mean anything to you?
I'm getting the word recycling.
I have this matchbox. Anything peculiar about it?
It has a cockroach inside.
Yeah. He's called Trevor.
He prefers the name Boris, you know.
Well, I think you'll find that's his patronymic. Is this rich tea cookie anything special?
It's seen better days.
What can you tell me about these matches?
With these, you can create fire.
Are you getting any vibes from this note?
No.
This is slightly more interesting than the 2 previous conversations, but it's still not really getting us
Can you
anywhere.
tell me anything about this eau de toilette?
It's cheap, smells bad, and belongs to a man.
Gee, thanks. I was sure she didn't want to see it.
So let's ask about her.
So, Fleur, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, George. Though truth be told, my hip has been playing up again. And I have a funny feeling about the number 12.
But apart from that, nothing new?
No, that is all.
Well, apparently we can click it
Can you
again.
read my palm?
George, please, that is ridiculous. Give me a lock of your hair and a toenail clipping. Then we can talk.
I could do that.
Pass, thanks.
Suit yourself.
What is she going to tell me about Nico?
So, the young woman I'm looking for.
Nico lives next door.
Yeah, she's not in?
No, I believe she has gone out.
Did the tea leaves tell you that?
No, I saw her leaving a while ago.
Speak to you later.
Not if I speak to you first, George.
What does that mean? So we can look at the boxes?
There were boxes stacked along the wall. They were all labeled.
And he didn't read any of the labels?
I decided against wandering into the back of Fleur's shop. It would have been a little rude.
So it's nice to see her again, even though she didn't really play any major part in the games series. And we can't go into this place. And I guess may just find this to be
The door
locked.
was locked. I remembered Nico said she was having lunch with Ronnie.
Really? Okay. I thought she was still in London. I'm trying to leave, and the game is fighting me. Exit. There. So then that leaves Vera Security, which I probably don't have a reason to go to. So let's do it.
I arrived back at the shopping arcade.
Here we have that girder. So the shutter is
The
down.
Vera shutters were down again. The police had probably cleared it out.
So right now there's probably nothing I will even get by talking to Bassam here. But we'll see.
Hey, Bassam, how's business?
Good to see you, George. Gotta say, the new branding's hitting the demographic right between the eyes.
Sold anything?
This is a soft market, George. Look to the margins. Look to the margins.
So I can ask him about a stall, and I can ask him about... I imagine these 4 things are all that really matter.
What's your latest bargain?
Bargain? I prefer the word incentivizer, George. Look at the store. Something for everyone, and everything for someone.
I didn't think there was much point.
We'll click on that.
Do you like whiskey? I'm afraid it's a cheap brand.
No.
I knew he wouldn't be interested. I've got a paperclip.
Very useful, I'm sure.
But Sam wouldn't want to see that.
So I've gone through these 4. And I've probably already done all of these, but let's go through them again.
I've still got the cockroach.
Just for
Don't let it
thoroughness
loose
sake.
around here, please.
I have half a cookie left.
Sorry, George. With margins like this, I can't do returns.
I've got some matches.
Always good to have.
At least
But Sam
he's
wouldn't wanna see
responding to
He struck me as
some
more
of
like
the
an
things.
aftershave kind of guy. But Sam wouldn't want to see it.
So let's ask about the
Any
stall
other
again.
bargain?
Got a batch of phone covers.
Let me guess. Rhinestones?
Got it in one.
Thank you.
Well, and that ends the conversation. It doesn't seem like there's anything else here. So we've finished everything that we weren't supposed to do. Let's go to the place where we are supposed to do something. And guess what? The game crashes with invalid texture again. That makes crash either 4 or 5 in this game. And that is an unacceptably high number. Unacceptably
Where
high
was
number
again
of
at the crime
crashes.
scene?
In
Inside the
such a
gallery, I
short
could see
time.
lots of activity. Now they preparing for the reconstruction, no doubt.
And see, these aren't crashes that you would expect even from a maybe incompatibility with Windows 10. This is just downright errors you would get only from a program being badly programmed. Crashes that I would only expect to happen equally amongst any operating system. Let's see. Well, if we rush here, we can maybe get all of this done in the next 8 minutes.
Nico and I had a good idea who the killer was. Now all we had to do was persuade Nave.
Maybe it'll skip some of this
Sir,
conversation.
I already tried starting it up. I think it's broken.
Nonsense, Moo. This machine has the power of 10 investigators.
But investigators never fail to start up, sir.
Your pessimism is duly noted, Moo. But have faith. This machine will analyze the scene, compute the data, and deduce everything for us. The location of the second shooter will be a mystery no more. One moment.
They don't even have simple
A
luminol
marvel indeed,
to
sir.
see if
Though,
it
at
actually
the
is
moment,
blood.
it is to put.
Your pessimism has obviously infected the circuitry, Moo. Let me think for a moment.
If I could just...
Eh bien, Moo, now try realigning the laser matrix.
So it looks like these two are going to be
Sir,
too
I
busy
have
to
no idea
pay any
what.
attention to me.
Move over, Moo. Now, let me see. Oscillating reverberator. Check. Refraction spectrometer.
Well, right now, I'm still in a cutscene.
Ah, Monsieur Stobbart, it's only you. Glad you could finally make it.
Inspector, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Oh, yes? I shall be the judge of that.
I think I know who the killer is.
Really?
Yep, he's a gardener called Shears living in London.
Fascinating. And the good news?
We don't need to do your reconstruction.
You joke with me, Monsieur Stobbart.
It's not a joke. This guy Shears was working for a Russian ex-mobster. It's all part of a highly complex fraud.
Gardeners, KGB, fraud. You are a fantasist, monsieur. And I have no time for fantasy. Reality is my suitcase, as you Americans say. Now, stand over there and keep out of trouble until the others arrive.
Well, who are we waiting for?
Mademoiselle Collard and Father Simeon, please. I am very busy.
Ah, yeah, I'd forgotten about Father Simeon. He's like,
a clever choice.
it's been
No cigar,
not really long at all, but he's played no real part in the story. Well, it seems like we can now do things, so what have we got? What have we got? A paper clip for the cut wire. Might be funny, but it doesn't seem like something we could do. We could go into the office, but there's nothing really in the office. So, and we can't really talk to Moo and Nove right now, I bet. So let's talk to Lane. Why can you interact with the poster and nothing else? Feels like at some point I'm going to pick up that poster and smash it over somebody's head or something.
Lane.
Stobbart.
And see, here we have an example in which they did program Lane to not interact with our inventory items. So obviously the engine can do it. They just chose not to program some characters to that way. Which makes it just feel like they intentionally wanted some no response interactions in the game for some crazy reason, because that's not very satisfactory gameplay, or they were just really ambitious and then fell off a cliff with their ambition and said, well, we've got no more time for development, however it is now, we're putting it out for sale, we're not fixing anymore, which that's not a good way to make a game.
What do you think of Moo?
Who?
The policeman with Nave.
I assume he's another idiot.
Why's that?
I believe one can tell a man by the company he keeps.
I'll bear that in mind, Mr. Lane. What's the deal with that device over there?
It's a farce. They've been trying to get it working for hours.
Looks like something out of a 50s sci-fi movie.
It probably is.
What do you think of Nave?
The man is a buffoon. I have better things to do than wait for these idiots to get their forensic whatnot to work. The only silver lining is that Nave seems more annoyed than I am.
So we need the provenance.
I gather you're the man to ask about the provenance for the painting.
For La Maledictio? Well, you have been busy, haven't you, Stobbart?
I'd like to see it.
So speak to Bijou. She took care of the business side of the gallery. The provenance is in the office safe. She has the key.
Bijou's been lying to me.
When you had him cornered. Though it looked like Bijou hadn't been completely honest with me after all. I needed to pay her another visit. Okay, thanks.
Which
Yes.
I suppose I should have guessed that, because if she didn't have any reason to be in the game, she probably wouldn't have been in the game.
Do it. What have you done?
Pardon me, sir, but I believe it was you who said, "This is no time for blame. You have broken the machine." Mon Dieu.
So, we didn't get to save last time. So it's been about an hour of gameplay since this point. And when we overwrite this and come back here and look at restore, we jumped 5 percentage points to 31%, which tells me that either something's very weird here. Either I'm playing incredibly slowly, or this game is really, really off on the length. Maybe only part 1 is 10 hours. Maybe this is a 20-hour point-and-click adventure. If that's the case, that's not really going to make me very happier, though, because what they've given me so far has not been very good. And I started recording this game 72 hours and 47 seconds ago, when in all honesty I should be done with the game by now, 3 times over. I should have been done in less than 24 hours. But every time I record, I usually have to take at least an hour break in between a couple of recordings. It's so dull and so uninteresting to continue this story. Anyways, it's been 30 minutes. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.